Perseverance, a lowly virtue whereby mediocrity achieves an inglorious success. Ambrose Bierce. My friends, stick with it. Perseverance is, I think, one of the most missing but most important attributes any of us can have, whether it comes to your financial wealth, to your physical health, to everything that you do in life. Whatever you persevere in and you push through, it gives you inglorious success. Now, let's jump into these charts and see where everything is. Everything up for the day, but Bitcoin down about 4.47%. Now, have a green candle that's forming. How many of you, when you saw that turning in the morning, went ahead and pulled out? You could have. I know that there were a couple of you that when you saw things running along this line over the last day and a half, you cashed out on Friday, and that is fine. It's also fine to stay in this. It's fine to have sold part of your position and continue to watch, and it's fine to have done nothing but simply hung on, waiting to see if we're going to reach our 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. One green candle does not necessarily have to stop you. It does depend on your experience with, of course, SPY in the past and the kind of parameters that you have set up. We are still red on the STC. We're below the 200 EMA. We look at where we are on the 2-day chart as we start this week. Nice red down candles still there, red on the STC. And of course, check it out. We are red on the down candle for the week. We're about where we were last week as far as the bottom goes, but gone from green to red on that weekly chart on the STC. So everything is going in our direction. We shall see how this continues to move forward. Now, let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ 100. It too has gone green for the day, still red on the STC. When I say green, I'm talking about the Heikin Ashi candlesticks. What about the 2-day? Red on the Heikin Ashi candlestick and on the STC. And where are we? Of course, same thing, going from green to red on that weekly and hitting about the same bottom as previous. So that is where we are on our 2 down trades on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. What about, and it was 0.78 and 0.60 up respectively. Where are we on 20-year bonds? Up 0.23%. And again, this has been way too long in the tooth. I know some of you got out when we got really close to our 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio within just a few cents. Since then, we rolled up and back down and sort of rolling up at the end of the day, just barely 0.23%. We are green on the STC, but of course we did stay in. We were checking out where that volume is. And of course, volume is still below the average there. We saw where it popped up back in the morning on Friday, and as far as the red down volume, and lessened in the afternoon, not a whole lot in the morning with that doji, and then up some in the afternoon, still below the average. So we'll keep an eye on things, of course. We'll watch and see how this continues to proceed. I'm moving that out of the way, and we'll just continue to watch. I don't like trades to take this long when we're dealing with this half-day chart. It has been going on way too long, but we'll keep an eye on things. We look at where we are on the 2-day chart, and of course, it's in the red. Now, we haven't touched, we're 2 candles past where we last bottomed. I'd like to see us bottoming again. What about the weekly? And of course, we talked about this last week, going red. So that's another reason that we've held on to this down trade for this long. That is where we are on that down trade. Now we're going to transition from stocks to bonds now. We're going into gold. Gold barely up 0.08% for the day. Of course, we had a successful bond trade in a day and a half. Was that not beautiful? 1.58% down. And then, of course, down for one more candle, not reaching the low of that prior candle. And then later on Friday morning, it reached a bit more of a low, then up in the afternoon a little bit, down in the morning, up a little in the afternoon. Overall on Monday, like I said, up 0.08%. So we're out of that down trade. You will see that in gold, we're well below the 200 EMA. Where are we on the 2-day? Well, we'll tighten this up so you can see a little more. We are red on the STC, haven't hit the low on that prior 2-day candle. STC is red, candle's red on the weekly. Of course, it's red too, and we're seeing that candle body push through the 200 EMA. Again, gold pushing down. Now, it hasn't reached the low from last week yet, so we'll continue to keep an eye on things. And who knows, maybe we'll have another chance to jump into another low on gold. With that candle body still touching the 200 EMA, who knows, gold could find a bottom and bounce back through and allow us to get it on an up move. I can't wait to go long on gold, but I've been waiting. I'll keep waiting until it triggers correctly. Where are we with Bitcoin? We can see where Bitcoin moving down strongly in the morning, recovering a little bit in the afternoon. So for the day, not down all that much, 0.47%. But when we go up and we start looking at where Bitcoin is, tighten this up a little bit, you can see where Bitcoin still is right around that 1820 mark, where it has been a few times now. We can just keep going back and seeing, is that going to be our bottom for Bitcoin? Are we going to bounce off on that? Wouldn't that be beautiful if that were the case, that we could bounce off there about the 1820 mark or so, hold that, and then take off again? Well, yet to be seen. That would be nice. We've thought about that previously, where we've seen Bitcoin come down and hit a place like at 2760. And then, of course, hammered on down from there. So we'll keep our eye on Bitcoin. Again, hope springs eternal. We'll see where these charts take us. And when they do turn around, of course, we'll be there. We have successfully practiced traded Bitcoin in the past, and I have a feeling, friends, we can do it again. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.